Do you keep putting things off even when you know it's making your anxiety worse? You're not lazy, you're not unmotivated, your procrastination might actually be a hidden symptom of anxiety. If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or unable to start, even on the things you really want to do, you're not alone. In this video, I break down the surprising link between procrastination and anxiety. And I'm going to give you some simple strategies to break free and take control. So let's get to it. But first, here's a little story. 50 metres above a gorge near Queenstown, New Zealand, a scene was unfolding that is forever etched on my memory. A young man in his 20s was trying to jump off the famous Cowrail Bridge. Thankfully, this was someone trying to have fun and not a serious incident. The poor chap was suffering with anguish, though. He was trying to bungee jump. The top half of his body was screaming, "Yes, let's do this," where the bottom half was saying, "Over my dead body." His feet were firmly planted on the platform, and they were saying, "Absolutely no chance are we jumping." It was mesmerizing and hilarious to watch as an internal battle raged within him. Now, clearly, it's right that he should feel a bit anxious about jumping off a 50-meter platform with just a rope attached to him. But do you sometimes find yourself agonizing over the simplest decisions or simplest of tasks? Procrastination is the delaying or putting off of things we need to do, and it causes us frustration. So why do we do this annoying habit? Today, we're deep diving into why we procrastinate. And if you are affected by this habit, watch to the end of the video because I've got some great tips to help you with this problem. But first, if you're new to this channel, I'd love you to subscribe. Simply click on the red button in the bottom right hand corner to learn some more top tips on how to master your anxiety. Now, there's many reasons why we procrastinate. I had a flatmate once who was an arch procrastinator. His motto was, "Why put off today when you can put off tomorrow?" But I suspect his issue was more a lack of motivation. But for many of us, it's not a motivational issue. Procrastination isn't just about being lazy, it's often driven by anxiety. So let's break down some of the biggest culprits. Number one, too many inputs. Have you ever been overwhelmed by decisions that your brain's working memory is maxing out? Working memory is our ability to temporarily store and manipulate information in the mind to complete a task. When we have too many inputs, our brain becomes overwhelmed and can't cope. Basic functions like decision making become much harder. Steve Jobs famously wore the same black turtleneck top every single day. Why? Because he didn't want the cognitive load of making decisions about what he needed to wear. He had much bigger decisions to make each day. Number two, uncertainty. Your brain is many things. It's a pattern matching machine, but it's also a prediction machine. If it can't predict an outcome, our brains have this propensity to freeze and do nothing. That's procrastination. Number three is high standards. Perfectionists out there, listen up. If you fear that you cannot meet your own high expectations of yourself, you're probably going to avoid the task altogether. It's common that people with very high expectations of themselves struggle with procrastination. If something is important to us, there's this tendency to do nothing, as you worry you might not meet your standards. And number four is fear of negative outcomes. Our imaginations are super powerful, but they're wired to anticipate the worst. That fear of failure, it keeps us stuck. Our imagination is our ability to predict the future. It's a fantastic tool, but our imagination is biased to the negative. It's a better evolutionary strategy to think like this, but can lead us to putting off attempting things because of fear of failure. So what's really going on here? Well, it's all about how our brains are wired. Meet your amygdala, part of your brain designed to protect you from danger and threat. The dominant part of our brain is called the limbic system, which is its emotional center. And a key player in that limbic system is the amygdala, which is always seeking to protect us from danger and threat. When we feel threatened, the amygdala triggers the fight, flight, and freeze response. So it's possible that when we're overwhelmed and struggling with uncertainty, or there's a fear we might fail, the brain goes into freeze mode. That's procrastination in action. Nobel Prize winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman explains this in his classic work, Thinking Fast and Slow. The brain has two systems. System one operates automatically and quickly with little effort. If I asked you what's 2 times 2, you immediately say it's 4. You don't even think about it. That's system one in action. System two is much more demanding and requires a lot more mental effort. If I asked you what's 17 times 53, it's far more challenging for the brain, and you're going to need system two to work that out for you. Kahneman explains that when we're in a situation where we've got too much information on our mind or worried about an outcome, system one will always win out. We prioritize short-term gain, like scrolling through social media, over long-term pain, like studying for exams. We are pushed to instant gratification, like doom scrolling on TikTok, instead of tackling that big important project. So, how do we break free? Here are 4 science-backed strategies to outsmart your procrastination. Number 1, chunking. Big tasks feel impossible, but small steps much more manageable. Instead of thinking, how do I write an entire report or chapter, just focus on writing one sentence or a paragraph. Make the task as easy as possible for the brain to handle by reducing the load and anxiety. As the saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I've never really understood why you'd want to eat an elephant, but it's a good metaphor for how to break down big tasks into smaller chunks. Number 2, the Zeigarnik effect. Sometimes I have to write an article or a book and I find all sorts of reasons for putting off doing it. But editors have deadlines and I can't put it off forever. Oliver Burkeman, in his book 4,000 Weeks, suggests a brilliant technique that, whilst paradoxical, has worked wonders for me and helped me a lot with my writing. Allow yourself 30 minutes a day to write. Only 30 minutes, and you've got to stick to your 30 minutes. When you get to the end of 30 minutes, you're probably in a deep state of flow, but you've got to stop. The next day, the strangest things happen. I find myself running to my desk to write some more. That's the Zeigarnik effect. Number 3 is overcoming inertia. It's the opposite of the Zeigarnik effect. Getting started can be the hardest part, but once you begin, momentum takes over. So set yourself a 5-minute timer, and when that timer goes off, you start. Anyone that's struggled to go for a run or go to the gym will know that once you get there, you actually end up doing far more than you anticipated. And my 4th and final tip is values alignment. You'll often hear me talk about aligning to your values. When your task connects to your core values, it becomes much more meaningful, purposeful, and much more motivating. Ask yourself, how does this thing I'm trying to do align to the person I want to be? Aligning your actions to your values has many benefits. One is decision making becomes much easier. It reduces the cognitive load. But knowing your values and how a task aligns to that allows you to move forward to it much easier. Procrastination is a frustrating trait that stops us getting stuff done. It isn't about being lazy, but instead it's probably caused by your brain trying to protect you and leading us to take the easiest option of doing nothing. However, sometimes we need to do what our young bungee jumping friend finally did after 15 minutes of torturing himself, which is just to let go and take that leap. Follow my tips and you might just be able to get over the bump of procrastination. If this video has helped you, hit the like button, maybe subscribe or share the video with someone that would benefit from seeing it. If you're struggling with procrastination, leave a comment. Let me know what you're struggling with. Come on, Let's tackle this together.